there is Bri Bethancourt, my co-host. Today, you are joining us on Signature Block. What is today? April 16th. If you aren't in Texas, your taxes were due yesterday. Haha, sorry. But if you are in Texas, you probably suffered through a terrible week in February, and you deserve all of the extra month that you get.
All the breaks.
Okay, all of us earned that. Okay. Today we have a very special guest. Oh, Neka, you got a delicious drink. My daughter wouldn't go get me no, she went to get me kombucha. She got the wrong kind. I said, can you go get me the kind I like? And she said, no.
No.
I am just drinking water this morning, which makes me sad.
That makes me sad too.
Yeah. Uh-oh, we froze.
I think
frozen.
Yeah, I think she froze up.
With her water.
Yeah. That's why she froze up, because she ain't got that delicious drink.
You look, well, wait a minute, ma'am. What is that over there? That looks amazing.
This is really just Big Red, but it looks so yummy.
It looks good in that cup, though. That cup is making it look delicious.
Making it look good, yeah. I wish there was something else kind of yummier in it, but it's only 10-17.
It looks good though. That's all that matters.
No need to get excited.
So, okay. Well, we're just gonna go on and okay, she dropped off. She'll come back on. All right, yeah. Neka. Well, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to have you on. It has been a minute since I've seen you, but we are Facebook friends, so I see all the amazingness that you have done and that you continue to do. And I'm so super excited and proud of you. Just FYI, okay?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So first, let me let the people know how, I don't even know how we met, to be honest with you. But I do know where we started though. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because did you see the post about the radio show, or was it the co-host that did?
No. Okay. So that was all me, ma'am. That was all me. So is that how it was? Did I reach out to you because of that post?
Yep. That's how, that was our start.
Okay.
And I just remember when you walked into the radio station, you were like, let's go. Okay, I'm so excited. You were walking around. You was like, this is awesome, and you went straight to the computer. So I knew that it was in you, you showed that from the first time that we walked in. But, that's how we met though.
That's how we met. So Cadillac, I'm so glad that you're back on, ma'am.
I froze, dude. I don't know. These machines hate me, right?
And you hate them. It's a mutual.
I hate completely mutual feeling. They hate that I call them machines. I won't give them a personality by calling them what they really are. Computer. Right. No, you're a machine.
So before
you met at the radio.
So that's what we were talking about. We were talking about how we met. So I met Neka. Neka owned The One. It was The One radio. It was an internet radio in San Antonio. And I don't know, Neka, this is, I feel like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like I was, so she posted something about, if you want to do a show on the radio, hit me up, come through, let's get this going. And so I hit her up because I always come up with different ideas, and I'm always thinking outside the box. And so I was like, you know what? I think it'll be dope for my career to be on this radio show and, kind of do something a little differently than what most attorneys are doing, right?
Totally. Yeah.
So then that's what I did. And this was a few years back though.
Okay, let me just say then that means Neka is the reason I'm on the radio. Actually, so I saw Bri doing her radio and I was like, that's a great idea. And Neka, you should know that Bri is my my marketing role model. Okay. So I whatever she does, I should copy because I love what she does.
I need to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, she's on the radio. That's a great idea. And then I found this radio show to be on here in Dallas. And then now Bri is on that show on Thursdays. And
now
so
iHeartRadio on Thursdays.
Yes. So Neka, you're basically the beginning of our radio career.
Yeah. And I want to say, Neka, she's not the only lawyer that copied me. Okay, there was a lot of other lawyers that copied me. So you are the godmother, okay, of most of these attorneys that are on the radio. Yes. I just want you to know that.
Yes.
Well, what's crazy is that when we started the radio station, I was actually on KTFM. I was the morning show host on 102 points, or actually 94.1 KTFM. And I got fired for being too black while, let me rephrase. I got fired for being too popular while black. So I basically ran that station. Yep, I was female. I ran that station. What I said went. I was on TV all the time. I hosted every event in San Antonio, from NIOSA to Fiesta.
How dare you? How dare you?
Right. How dare me celebrate, New Year's Eve celebration, all of that stuff. And they were like, this girl has way too much power. And they told me that. And they basically told me that they were firing me because I had too much power. And I was like, wow.
They said that out loud?
Yeah, out loud. And then we had a meeting. We had a staff meeting. And they said, well, we're about to flip the radio station. This is when 94.1 went from all old school to what you hear now.
Okay.
And so they said, we're about to flip the radio station. And they were like, well, how do we do that? What's going on? They said, well, you do that by firing the most popular DJ. And that was me. So I got fired so they could flip the radio station and switch the audience and do all of that stuff. Yeah. Wow. So from that point, I was like, oh my gosh, I had to pray. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I went to KROV and helped launch their community radio station, and was there for about a year, taught everybody how to be a DJ, how to do commercials, how to talk on the radio. And then the Lord showed me some stuff, and I was like, okay, I got to move around. And he was kind of like, I'm showing this so you can go ahead and do it. So you know that you have the ability to do it yourself. Yeah. So that's when I started the One. And when podcasting first started coming in, I was like, oh, this is great. You got the camera, you got the radio. And I just wanted people to come on the platform. So for years, I have taught people how to do radio shows and podcasts. And now that I'm kind of stepping out of the business, I see all of these wonderful shows all over the city and now beyond of people that started at the One. And it makes me proud. It makes me proud.
You should be proud. You should, because I think you offered regular people an opportunity to kind of jump on and see if this was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and you didn't have to be anybody of any popularity or anybody of any status. You just offered regular, listen, if you have a thing, if you want to talk about something, just come on. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
And I think it's ironic.
The ones that have the talent and the ones that have the passion still have shows today. So congratulations, Miss Bethancourt, for being that talented person.
And I'm gonna have to talk to you. Me and you gonna have to get together outside of this, because I'm gonna have to talk to you.
For sure, because the District 2 office always needs lawyers and stuff on hand, So
that too.
Apparently, if they're telling you they're firing you because you're too popular, I think it's ironic how back in the old day, they used to say, I have a face for radio. You remember that saying, right?
I do.
Ugly, but your voice was great, right? And then now, with the podcast, like people have to see you. But see, Neka, you're pretty. So that was the easy transition.
Yes, it
was. But see, I think they're like Howard Stern, when he brought a camera in, like that is not an attractive person, right?
Well, let me tell you.
You don't want to see that?
You're right, though, because radio, the camera kind of messed up the mystery of radio because it was about the voice. And you could be so in love with the voice and then see the person and they're 300 and something pounds. And, you're like, oh my God.
Yes. And you like when you only heard them, their voice, a lot of the men in particular, like, oh, he's such a great, sexy voice, whatever. And then if you ever saw him, you were like, oh, wow.
Rick the Stick was my favorite. I worked with Rick the Stick for years, right? So when I heard Rick the Stick, I thought he was just a skinny dude. That's whatever. Nah, man, he's doing big 300-pound dude, like a big old teddy bear. Like you would never. The name didn't match the guy.
The face, that's funny.
Yeah, but it matched the voice, but it didn't match the guy, So it did take away some of that mystery, but I think that was the fun in radio. And I definitely hope that, because radio won't ever die. It's just kind of like the church. It's been there forever. It's been the source of information, entertainment. So it's not going to die. But I really hope that we get it back into the streets of the people, instead of having all of those, national broadcasts. So you're listening to the radio in Austin, but really they're broadcasting out of Chicago. That's what has caused the disconnect. So if we can bring the local DJs back and those local events and hype, then we'll see radio like we knew it when we were growing up. So hopefully it'll come back because those were some fun days.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. Do you ever see yourself going back into radio?
Possibly. And I don't even think I'm going to leave it when I win the council race. I think that we're actually going to take the one radio and relaunch it as D2 radio.
Okay.
Put a lot of shows that are within the district and information so we can have an information base that's always available. So I'll probably do a show once a week, you know, updates, summaries, things of that sort. And then I want to constantly come on everybody else's show because when it's, of course, because when we're talking about leadership and what I'm trying to get into or what I'm going to get into, communication has been something that we have lacked all these years. We don't know what our government's doing, whether it be local or, you know, national government. We're not sure of policies that are put in place. We're not sure how procedures are done. Heck, we don't even know what things are available for us as individuals in our cities. And so I think communication has lacked, and I'm going to come and bring it full force. Like, I'm going to be so transparent. You're going to be like, Neka, we don't care anymore.
Neka, I got some news for you, friend.
What's that?
Nobody in the government knows what they're doing. Okay. There's no, unlike in a corporation where they write down, here are our procedures, here are how we do things.
Roles and responsibilities, yes.
Apparently in the government, either they don't have those written down or they don't care what they say. And I get more frustrated with the government every day working with the government, right? It's like, oh my goodness, this rule says to do this, and then they don't. And the rules are whatever they want for them. But then, and then they'll, my favorite is when they have people like the city code writing citations for zoning violations or whatever. You're not a lawyer. You don't actually understand the zoning rule or code. And so kudos for you to like actually volunteer to go deal with that.
I know, right? And so here's the thing, but many people don't know that the city of San Antonio we have a ton of lawsuits against us right now. And that's really because they're trying to put in procedures and process that is against the law. You can't do that. You don't have the power and the right to do. So let me just tell you about this. So a lot of times we put in, you know, the council can put in like proclamations, or they give proclamations, or they can say, we're going to put, the word is slipping me right now, but we're going to put in this rule, right? Let me give you a prime example for people in San Antonio that might remember, but when they were trying to give us longer rent, and they wanted to give us an extra 3 months to not have to pay rent. And then so it went in front of the council and they were voting on it, and it didn't pass, right? So most people were, of course, mad because the council voted against the interest of the people. But one of the council members said, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm scared. We already have hundreds of lawsuits against us. And if we do this, is it really in the scope of being lawful? Because the council can't put on, like, I can't arrest you. I'm not a cop. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in those positions. We don't create law. That happens at the state level. So anything that the council puts in place, it's more like a suggestion, right? Because if you don't do it, the most you can get is a ticket.
Yep. Yes.
Well, let's talk about that, Neka. Let's go backwards and talk about. So we transitioned from talking about how you were on the radio. Now you're running for D2 council. So let's kind of go back a little bit.
Yeah. How'd you
explain
to us the other?
Yeah. Explain to us what it is that you're running for, and then what is D2? What is the position that you're running for? What does the council do? Like, explain all of that for people who just don't understand.
So basically, I am running for District 2 council, city council, and District 2 is the parts of the east side, basically the east side and all of its surrounding east side parts, okay? So if you live in District 2, you do live on the east side, even if it's northeast, southeast, east. I just want to let you know that. So it goes all the way from downtown San Antonio to the I-10, right? All the way up to Foster Road, all
Oh,
the way
okay.
across, back in that Foster Road till you get to that HEB area and all of that.
Okay.
Shoot up Walsham, half of Walsham where the old school Winter Park Mall, now Rack Space sits.
Mhm.
That side is District 2. The other side is Windcrest. If you go down Walsham and keep on going straight a little bit, halfway down that street on the other side of the freeway is District 2. The other side is District 10. Come up 35, your District 2 coming towards downtown.
Okay.
And that kind of makes the circle. And then going down Broadway. So you go down Broadway until you hit Alamo Heights.
Oh,
Alamo Heights is its
that's
own
District 2.
entity. That's District 2 too on Broadway.
Wow.
So
Okay.
That's
Okay.
a huge area.
districts, yeah, in the city.
Is
So
that like the St. Mary's Strip? Is that part of it too?
no, that one's right outside of it. but
Right
it's
outside.
next
Okay.
door-
All right.
it's next door to us. So so basically the role of the council is, and this is what I truly, truly believe. If you go and look it up, they'll tell you a council person is somebody that helps make the city better, right? So you have 10 council folks that deal with all sides of the city. So when I go in to the dais and the meetings and all this stuff, I'm representing the voice of my district, which is the East Side.
Okay.
However, my job is to make San Antonio as a whole great. We're not here just to make one side of the city better than the other, and the other side better than the other, and the other side better than the other. It happens, but that's not what's supposed to happen. We're supposed to be working together to make the entire city great. We put in process and procedures, and we vote on the things that happen within the city. So most people think the council does everything, right? They're like, hey, we need a hospital. Tell your council person. Council person doesn't put in hospitals. Just here to let you know. We can help get it done. We can bring the people together to put them to the table and push a narrative, but we can't do that, right? They'll say our streets and our roads need to be fixed. Well, yes, that's stuff that we can put into projects, but the person that's actually involved with that is our commission, right? So there's
County
certain
commission?
county commission, right? So they deal. So certain people deal with certain things.
Can I just let me pause? This is exactly what I was just talking about also, and what you're talking about, transparency. I have no idea who the county commission is or how they function or what
they
the
do.
council's role is. And I'm a lawyer. I went to law school and they didn't teach us any of this, right? And so I can only imagine being someone who didn't go to law school. And it is really frustrating to me. It was not like this when I lived in Arizona. I understood city council does this person does this person does that. So you're saying, because I live in Dallas and the roads here are trash. They're worse than San Antonio by far. I need to go complain to the county commission for that. Is that what you're saying?
You do. And so the thing about it is what the council can do is put things into a budget. So like roads, sidewalks, things like that, that comes out of bond money. And every year you get bond money to deal with your city and your streets and your infrastructure, right? So that deals with that. And so the city council, when bond money comes up, you'll be the one to say, all right, this stuff needs to be allocated to roads and this stuff needs to be da da da. But a lot of times when you have an actual complaint, you might need to call the commission, or you might need to call your state rep. So when we're dealing with all this stuff with police accountability and having different laws change, council can't do anything about that. You got to go to your state rep. They're the ones that change the laws.
Wait, council can't make their own city's police accountable?
No, they can, but they can't change a law.
But you can, as the city council, say, we find it unacceptable for police to kill people, and we will fire you.
So what the city council has to do, and what we're going through right now, is the people have to vote on whether or not they want to do collective bargaining or not, right? Because that's what the city has in place to talk to our police about procedures and all those great things, right? So yes, the council has a hand in working with the police, and the real person that's like, it depends, like it all goes in layers, right? So your chief works for the city. The mayor and the city manager are the ones that are pretty much the police chief's boss. Okay. So if stuff is not, if they're not being accountable, if stuff is not happening, then it's up to the council job to make sure that the police chief is replaced.
So then it's important then on the scale of things from what you're saying is that you have council members that are in place that are not afraid to say, hey, guys, to push back pretty much and be like, hey, this is not being done appropriately. Like, what are we doing about this? To kind of push and
right.
Yeah, I like that. And so then you said there's 10 council members. Does that mean that there's one representative for each district and that makes up 10 districts in the,
10 districts and there's one representative for each district.
Okay.
You know, your south side, your west side, your downtown area, your all of the different areas of the district. Now, what most people don't understand, because they think the council does everything, is that there is a city staff, okay? So I like to ask the question, who do you think the most important person in the city is?
The city manager.
Ding, 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 ding. You get a cookie.
The only reason I know that is because I did a bunch of research because I was like, what in the hell is a city manager? And I had to like actually spend time figuring that out because it's so bizarre to me. Why did I elect a mayor? Other person who got hired is actually the one in charge. That irritates me.
Well, the thing about it is that it's not that he's necessarily in charge, but the city manager is in charge of the money.
Oh.
He's not in charge of the money. The city manager is. He's the one that writes the checks to make sure everything goes to where it goes.
So who's the city manager for San Antonio?
Eric Walsh.
Okay.
Eric Walsh.
So does the city manager, like, to circle back to police, does the city manager hire and fire the chief of police?
He's with the mayor. That's all. That's their team.
They do that together. Okay.
Yeah, that's a joint scenario, you know. So you have different staffs and different boards and committees and all that stuff within the city. So the city manager has a staff. Okay. And he might have 20 people on the assistant city managers, the secretary, this person, the communications, all the different. Excuse me, guys. Hold on one second. I am so sorry for the correction.
It's okay. I'm learning so much. Like,
this is very interesting.
Bri, why didn't they teach us any of this in law school?
I don't know, because I don't know none of this stuff. I'm like, this is brand new for me, and I'm like, okay.
And this has been something that really frustrates me because, you know, I do a bunch of real estate stuff, right? So I deal with like city code tickets all the time, like all the time. And I'm like, who is your boss? Who is doing this? Like, where does this all come from?
Talk to?
Exactly. And it feels very Wizard of Oz, like the wizard behind the curtain and stuff. And I feel like Neka's pulling back the curtain for me. I love it.
Yeah, Neka is put it out there. I like it.
So what happens is that anything that deals with the city staff takes care of. So the budget, even when they're doing negotiations with the police association, that's the city staff, not the council. Okay. Anything dealing programs, how we're going to put them and how they're going to run, our COVID relief, recovery. Mm-hmm. All of that was put together by the city staff that works for the city manager. Okay. Now, they all have committees and stuff, you know, different things when they work on stuff. City council members will sit on those committees and in those different groups to help the city staff create the stuff. Now, this is
basically the city is like the CEO of the city. Mm-hmm. And his staff is like the C-suite people, and y'all in the city council you give the feedback of the citizens to
while they're doing the programs. You're the plug. I'm sitting on a certain committee. I'm like, hey, you got to make sure that these community centers are involved. Hey, don't forget that. Hey, we got to make sure this is there. So then they build the structure. Then they'll come and then after they put the whole presentation together and they got it finished. Then they bring it to the dais on a Thursday, right? And that's when they present it to the council and the people. They expect the people to actually watch the council meetings to get information, but we know that doesn't happen. Council meetings are 6 hours long on a Thursday, right? So we already know people are not engaged, but that's when they tell the people about the plans and what that they have put together for the city. Then the council votes on it. Okay, we like it. So they'll do it a few times, right? So say like the budget lasts for three months, 2 months, however long it lasts to put it together. they'll come in front of the dais probably about 3 or 4 times to present what they have. The council will say, hey, make this change, make that change. Here's a suggestion. Here's a suggestion. Da, 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 da. The people will come and say, we don't like it. We see what y'all are doing. Don't do this. This is the open discussion that they have at the council meetings, which most people don't know about, and the fact that they can come and have their voice be heard. But that's the time that the people need to come and raise heck if you don't like something. We do that at the council meeting on Thursday. Get all that info. They'll take everything back again, put out a date and say, all right, this is the date that y'all vote on it. Then they bring it back. We come, we vote on it. It's approved, okay? After that, it goes to your boards and commissions so they can implement it. Your boards and commissions are so important in your city. Those are the ones who implement the things that the council has passed.
Okay.
How did you learn this? Where did you learn this?
I do. When I decided to run for council, I said, I got to study. I got to figure it out.
When did you decide to run for council?
January 2020.
January 2020?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your first election, right? You're not an incumbent, right? You're just first election. Okay. And did you like Google all of this, or
So I already have been working with the community for the past 10 years, and I've been working with the mayor. I've been working with all these people. But when I actually started watching the council meetings, watching every session, the A session, the B session, the budget sessions, and all this. This is where I learned it. And then I asked questions. Anything I didn't understand, I went and asked. How is this in place?
Neka, here's why I think you are one of probably the best people for this D2 position, okay? It's because, like you said, you were already in the community. You were doing so much for the community before you even decided to run, just on GP, because that's where your heart is, right? So, I mean, Neka is very well connected with San Antonio, in and out. And she was already helping people, doing for people, putting people on way before she decided to run. So then now to step into this D2, I mean, it just seems so natural because you're already the middleman for District 2 anyway, prior to running, right? And the city, the mayor, everybody else, like you and the people, you
worked with them already.
Connect. Yeah.
So I just want to point out that you are the only candidate in the history of the world that I've heard that has like gone out and done all this research to figure out how to do the job before you got the job. That to me, you would have my vote. If I was in San Antonio, you would absolutely, I will vote for you, because everybody else goes out and runs first and then figures out what they're doing when they're in the job, right?
Yeah.
You went out and did that shows to me how much you care about this community, that you actually figured out.
That's the only reason why I'm running, really, because at the end of the day, I knew everybody. I already had all the relationships, and God kind of was like, they were poking at me like, you should run. And I'm like, whatever. And I'm gonna tell you, Miss Cadillac, at 3 o'clock in the morning, January 2020, the Lord woke me right out my sleep. I was asleep, and I woke up like this. And he said, you're running for council. And I said, huh? And then I was like, Lord, I don't want to lose. I don't like to lose. I don't play dominoes anymore because I don't lose.
I can't play Monopoly for the same reason.
So he was like, you're not going to lose regardless of anything. This is a win. This is your transition. This is what I want you to do. So I was being obedient. So when I woke up the next day, I was like, all right, the Lord told me I have to run for this. So now let me figure out what the heck it is. Let me figure out all the aspects of it. And that's what made me go and make sure that I knew what was happening. When I saw what was happening, I said, no wonder we're where we're at. We don't have the proper representation in seats. We have empty boards and commissions. We have people that don't live in the district that claim to run our district. We have people like, no wonder. We got to go back to the simple stuff and fill that with educated, knowledgeable, and passionate people. And then we're going to see change from the jump. So they make it so difficult. Government, period. They make the wording difficult. They make the meetings difficult. They're long on a wrong day. They make things difficult so people will not be involved. Why? So they can do what they want to.
So there's empty board commissions. There's empty board and commission seats right now.
So there's probably and I don't want to lie to you on the number, but I want to say there's probably 30 different board and commission seats available within the city. that deal with different aspects. So one that we all know about is the Mlk Commission, right? Mlk Commission is the one that deals with our MLK Day, does the march, does all that stuff.
Which is the biggest in the nation, by the way.
Biggest in the nation.
That's right.
I love that fact.
That's part of our boards and commissions. We have a commission for our older adults and our seniors, right? And on every board and commission, every district has a seat to represent them. Our senior citizens commission has been, that our District 2 seat has been empty for 5 years.
Oh, wow. Are these paid positions?
Huh?
Are these paid positions?
No.
Okay.
These are tier stuff. But think about it. Again, what did I tell you? The boards and the commissions is what implements the programs, the money, the situations. So again, if there's nobody from the district on it, how is the district going to be represented? If there's no women on it, how are the women represented? If there's no Black people, how are they? If there's no people that live with disabilities. So this is what we have to pay attention to. And so for years, we even got boards where people have sat on the board for 20 years. Don't you think that's too long?
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
But yet we don't have any change. So guess what Neka's gonna change? Who's sitting on boards?
Right.
Good.
Right.
Because
Neka, is China Grove in District 2?
No, I'm just outside.
I was gonna send my mama out there for you, child.
I don't know. Let me check on that.
Let me know, girl.
I'm like, what's that zip code? What's the zip code, girl? Let me see.
I can wait. It's 78264.
No,
that's not you. Okay.
Neka, what's your slogan there behind you? I see something. Stand for fighting.
Fighting for what matters to you. So basically my whole thing is that I don't have I'm not like a part of any interest groups. I'm not a part of any specific thing. My interest is people. So whatever your issue is my issue. That's what I'm fighting for. And it's going to change. We've had a lot of incidents, you know, we got Black Lives Matter and the movement for just justice. We've got, I mean, there's a lot of different groups. There's a group that's protesting against our SAWS, our San Antonio water system. We've got all kind of specialty groups out there that are fighting. And people say, Neka, you know, you got to join our cause. You got to join our cause. And what I tell everybody is, I'm already a part of your cause. I'm here to amplify your voice because you're part of my community, period. But there's 171,000 people that live in District 2. Oh, wow. And I am wanting to lead, or I'm going to lead. So I need every last one of those people to feel comfortable to call my phone and tell me, Neka, this is my problem, this is my issue. I don't want somebody saying, well, I can't call her because she's a member of Black Lives Matter. Well, I can't call her because she's a Democrat, I'm a Republican. Oh, I can't call her because, no, I'm not any of those things when it comes to the leader of District 2. I am just your leader, someone who cares about you and wants to make sure that you have the resources, the information, and a platform for you to succeed. It cannot be about any one person. It's about
I feel like you're like the voice of you're like the voice of the district.
The voice of the district. That's the crazy part
already. Yeah, exactly. It's such a natural transition. And I'm just so impressed by your research.
Yeah.
I wish I was in San Antonio. I wish I could vote for you.
There's a lot more. I'm telling you, I just got through talking to some folks about lowering taxes because we're going through gentrification right now on the east side. So our houses that we all know probably cost $60,000 at one time now cost $364,000. And so you find people whose taxes are raising because of it, and they don't know what to do, and how do I stay in my homes, and people that can't fix up their stuff. And those are the real issues. Those are, to me, the real issues.
Totally.
And how do we get an individual's problem taken care of?
We are going to have to meet, you and I, because I run a program for the city where we fix titles when people are in, you know, their auntie or mom's house has passed away. We get that into there. So that is something that I know affects your district because I lived in San Antonio, and I can't wait to talk to you about it. But we've reached the point of the show where we plug ourselves.
Yeah.
So you get to shamelessly plug yourself first. And, you know, everyone when they're going to be able to vote and where they can, every detail ever. And then Bri, she can shamelessly plug herself. Go.
I love it. I love it. Well, I definitely want you to vote for Neka. I'm #1 on the ballot and work very hard to be #1 in your heart. I'm a marketing girl, so I've got those slogans for you.
Yeah, you are.
I definitely, I can do the job. I'm born for the job. I want the job of being able to fix problems, resolve solutions, and move the district forward with unity. And so I've got receipts for everything I've done. I have fought in all levels. I work with everybody, the DA, the sheriff, the constable, the police, the city manager, or other council members. I'm even talking to council members that have a great chance of winning this election because 3 of our seats on the dais will be empty. So now I'm already working on council members who will also be there with me so I can work on our 6 votes that we need every time we go to the dais. So it's always about building relationships, which I am an expert at, and making sure that the people know what's going on and having transparency, which you will get completely with me. Neka Cleaver, 4d2.com is the website. 210-873-1235 is my number. Always open and always ready to work for you.
And Neka, did I miss it? When is voting?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even say that. Okay, so voting starts Monday.
Oh.
Voting is Monday. Early voting starts Monday on the 19th. Mail-in ballots have already started. So about 500 people have already mailed in their ballots. Hopefully there's some for Neka in there. And early voting goes from Monday all the way till Tuesday, which is the 27th. So the 19th to the 27th. Then we got 3 days of rest. And then May 1st is not just election day, but it's the day of new beginnings. So I will say that many people say 12 people are in the race. There's no way that there won't be a runoff. My answer to that is never put limitations on my God. My God has the ability to do anything, especially things man can't do. So we are going into May 1st to win on May 1st, get sworn in on May 12th, and start the job May 13th. There's no reason for a runoff. All you got to do is go vote for me. So even though May 1st is election day, it's actually the day of new beginnings because that's the day we're going to win. And you can vote anywhere all over San Antonio, whether it's early voting or on voting day. You no longer have to go to a specific site. So just get out there and vote, guys.
That's awesome, Neka. That's awesome. Thank you for that. And guys, hey, this is your girl Bri. Okay, I am actually your lawyer's favorite lawyer. Cadillac, I tell you. Okay, and so guys, as you all know, I'm the owner of the Bethancourt law firm. I'm here to protect your business, guys. And so make sure that you're reaching out to me, whether it's on Instagram at Issa_lawyer, ISSA_lawyer, on Facebook at the Bethancourt Law Firm. You can call me at 1-833-4BRI-LAW. That is 1-833-4BRI-LAW. And y'all just reach out to me if you need any trademark registrations, y'all need business contracts reviewed, you need your LLC formed, you need entertainment law, just reach out to me. There's no reason you shouldn't have a number of a lawyer, right? So y'all reach out to me. If I can't help you, I would absolutely refer you to somebody who can, okay? And I will talk to you guys soon. Lack.
The same goes for us at Cadillac Law. If you need someone, we can find it for you if we don't do it. I'm Lauren. I own Cadillac Law. We yesterday was the official start of property tax protest season. Values are rolling out starting yesterday. If you don't see a new value on your CAD website this weekend, then you're probably going to get your value in May. And so the next rollout is May 15th. So this year they're kind of doing it, which is really exciting. I'm really stoked. Property tax protests are like my greatest passion in the world because I hate taxes and I love doing them. I am having a seminar it's not a week, it's next Thursday at 6 p.m. where I'm going to teach people about how to protest their property taxes so that technically you don't have to pay me to do it. You can do it yourself. But of course, I will never say no to business. And it is one of my favorite activities in the world. So that is going to be at 6 p.m. next Thursday. If you're interested, you need to RSVP to our office at 972-845-1200. We of course do more than just property tax protests. It's just that I geek out on those. We do the estate planning, y'all, anything having to do with real estate. I can't wait to talk to Neka about the program I have here in Dallas that I absolutely want to expand to San Antonio. And I have talked to someone at the city, so we'll definitely talk about that. Cadillac Law can be reached on all of the social media under Cadillac Law, CADILACLAW, and CadillacLaw.net. And again, our number is 972-845-1200. Now, we don't have a guest lined up for next week, so it might just be Bri and I, which I would argue would be fun. So just putting that out there. Okay. Because she is your lawyer's favorite lawyer if I'm your lawyer.
Right.
And we're cute and we're funny.
And that's right. I agree. I totally agree.
So I really hope that people show up to vote. I know in Texas, another thing that drives me nuts is that we have these local elections in May, because like everywhere else in the world, or in America, you vote in November like you do for the president. And so what ends up happening is people are doing things outdoors because it's gorgeous, and then they forget that they need to go vote. Right. So early voting does start on Monday for, I think, all municipalities in the state. I know for a fact early voting does as well in North Richland Hills. I have a friend running council out there. So I encourage everyone absolutely to vote, absolutely locally. Do you remember the crazy DA we had for a while, the lady who like got elected and then she disappeared and she was like using drugs and stuff? Does anyone remember her? This was like,
no, I don't remember her name. Who was
you know what I'm talking about? The reason she won, first of all, she's a Republican. This was Dallas County. It made no sense. The only reason that woman won is because the election's in May. And so that means the staunch Republicans come out and vote and no one else does, because the rest of us have jobs and we forget.
Right.
First, well, the weirdest voting day ever.
Let me tell you, and all you have to do is really look at the numbers, right? And one of the candidates pointed it out yesterday, and I said, "Ooh, I'm glad you told me that. I don't want to have to steal your information, but y'all steal mine all the time, so who cares?" But they were really talking about, well, what I already know, and which is fact, is that in District 2, the last election, in the runoff, about 5,000 people voted. Before the runoff, about 6,000 people voted. So that means that the person who is in our office only got 2,400, 2,500 votes to win office. Mm-hmm. There are 70,000 registered voters in District 2. Okay. 70,000, but yet only 5,000 came out to vote.
But let's be honest, when they made our voting day in May for local municipalities, they knew exactly what they were doing. Yeah. Time when they redrew our lines and they gerrymandered us, it 100% has to do with the fact that people who would vote for someone like you have to work. Yeah. So let's prove them wrong. Let's show them that they can try, but they're not going to win. They're not going to hold us down. We are going to vote. We're either going to vote between the 19th and the 27th or on May 1st itself, May Day. And I love that. That's the beginning of the new start. So thank you so much for joining us.
Vote for Neka.
Neka. Everyone vote Neka. And Neka, I'm totally going to follow up with you next week and bring you talk to, but not right now. I need like an hour.
Okay.
For real, because you said a few things that I'm like, oh my gosh, we need classes. Yes.
So,
please call me.
So in it. Thank you everyone for joining us on Signature Block, and we will see you again next week.
Bye everybody.